Good evening, everyone. I am Professor Vivek Pongade from Sai Institute of Technology, Rajakunti Bemduru, Department of ISC. Today, we're going to see a topic on a subject on database management system. Database management system for V2 prescribed. They have given some of the textbook for the students to refer. On the database management system models, language, design, and application programming. Ramesh written by Ramesh Ilsari and Shamarkand bin Awate. 7th edition 2017. Pearson is the publisher. And second edition of the US Database Management System, Ramakrishnan and Garrick. Third edition 2003. McGraw-Hill publisher. SQL, PSQL for Oracle 9i. Second edition, PS Deshpande. SQL, PSQL is basically used for queries. In this textbook, they are given a number of queries, many queries on different topics. So it is very useful for the student to solve the queries and get a grip on the queries. Along with the prescribed textbook, they have also given some of the reference textbooks. It is Scroth and Sudarshan Database Management Concept 6th edition, McGraw-Hill 2013 edition. Cornell, Morris and Rowe Database Principles, Fundamentals of Design, Implementation and Management, Challenges Learning 2012. Just go to the walk. We'll just walk through the first module of the database. It is Introduction to Databases. Then Introduction, Characteristics of Database Approaches, Advantages of using Database Management System approach. In first module, we're going to see the basic, how the database and what is the data and what are the applications and advantages of using the database over the traditional file system. And we're going to see some of the languages to write the queries and what are the languages we're going to use in database languages. It is data models, schemas, and instance. These are some of the basic blueprints to design any of the database. And three-schema architecture and data dependency. This is very useful for any database designer to design the database. And for designing and after designing, what are the database languages and interfaces are going to use? Also going to see in the first module. Along with that, the database environment. There's a database system environment. Here, database system environment is nothing but how the database we're going to work. How the if the user sends any of the data, if any request to the database, how it will process. All those things we're going to see in the database system environment. Along with that, conceptual data modeling using entities and relationship entity types, entity set, attributes, roles, and structural concepts. These are the basic needs to design any of the databases. Entity, attributes, and what is the role between the attributes and what is the relationship between the attributes. All those things we're going to see in the conceptual data modeling concepts. That we next is weak entity type, then the ER diagram. The most very important concept for any of the database designer is 4 years of ER diagram. In C program, we use flowchart. The same way in the database management system, we're going to use the ER diagram. And some of the examples we're going to solve in this module. And last concept in this module is specialization and generalization. In the prescribed textbook one, that is Ramesh Insari, yeah, this concept we're going to see in chapter 1.1 to 1.8 and 2.1 to 2.6 and 3.1 to 3.10. This is regarding the walkthrough of the module 1 in the database management system. Next, before going to the in-depth of the databases, first we're going to see what is databases. Okay, by the name we can say that database management system. We're going to see what is data, then we're going to see what is database, then we're going to see the what is database management system. Data means what? Data is a fact. Data is a fact. That fact you're going to store at somewhere in the uh, physical medium. So data, it may be in the form of text, it go in the form of images, or go in the form of any audio, video. These things we say to the data. So why we need the data? For one of the best example, real-time example we're going to go. That is, in nowadays we are going to use the e-commerce website. So many e-commerce websites are working based on this data only. For example, if you take the Amazon e-commerce website, e-commerce application, it is a third party application. Third party application in the sense is acting as a middle person between the vendor and the customer. He just take the information from the client or from the user. Okay, what information? If we open the Amazon website or Amazon application, we're going to see a number of product, and we're going to see the related information of the product. That is the data. If we want to purchase the data, we're going to if we want to purchase that particular any product, we're going to give some data to them. That is our name, address, all those things. That is the data we're going to give for the Amazon application. With the help of data, they're going to provide a service to the user. Means they will send the data to the vendor. The vendor is going to send whatever the product that user has purchased. He going to send the data. So this is the data. Actually nowadays, with the help of the data, a number of companies are making millions and millions of money by using our data. They're using our data as the capital for their business. It's one of the main important of the data. Then we have a data. Now where we want to store the data? So we want to store the data somewhere, some place. So so data is nothing but that is one single piece of information is the data. Information nothing but if we information and data are somewhat the same. Data is a real fact. In that data, what portion we require, that is we say it as a information. For example, if you open the any YouTube channels, we will find n number of videos in the YouTube channel, irrespective of any subject. If you want to serve only the database in the YouTube, if you give the database module 1, that is the information. In the whole data, we are just trying to find the piece of information, piece of data in that whole data. That we say it as the information. Next is, for example, if you want, when it comes to database, for example, if we can take the college database only. In college, we have a faculty, non-teaching staff, technical staff, non-technical staff, and n number of any other departments are there. So each faculty information we're going to gather means collection of data. That collection of data we say it as a database. The collection of data, we say it as a database. For example, we say it as a university database. That data is the database should be related to real world. Real world. That is a main example of the databases. Then we want to store the collection of data somewhere, right? So to store that, we need one application. That application we say it as a database management system. That is, we say it as a database management system. In order to maintain, in order to manage, manipulate, to store, to retrieve, to perform all these operations over the data, we need one application. That application we say it as a database management system. This is regarding the introduction of the database and why we need. What is the advantage of using the database system? That basically now in earlier they're using many of the manual things to store the data, to manage the data, but it may get lost somewhere, or we may get lose the data. So in order to retrieve that the data in the manual format, it is very hectic. It is not impossible only. So in order, if we maintain the data somewhere in the database application system, if the data is lost also, some or other way we can recover the data. It is the main advantage of using the databases in the application in the automated format rather than using in the manual format. And the way of storing the data, way of maintaining data is also very hectic in the manual part. So all those disadvantages are will be overcome by using the database management system. This is regarding the database, introduction of the database. When it comes to the properties of the database, properties actually properties nothing but if we have just store the data, we have store the data somewhere place, some other place, right? So if we want to change, if we modify the data, if we modify the data in the database, that modification should be replicated to all other related particular database. That's why you say it is a mini world. For example, in the college only, if any of the faculty has joined newly to the department, so we're going to add that new faculty profile in the new property in the database. So it should be reflect to all other databases. That's why it is said as a mini world. Instant only it going to change in the reflect in the database. That's why we say it as a mini world or user of discourage. Then, if what is the main using of the database? in a computerized manner than the manual format. The database may be generated and maintained manually. We may also maintain the database manually, but as I said, it is very difficult to maintain. If we lose the data, means it is very difficult to recover the data. That is the main disadvantage of in manual part. And if you want to search, for example, we have 1,000 phone numbers, right? So if you want to find out only one particular person phone number in the thousand among 1,000 phone number, is very difficult to find in the manual. But when it comes to database, it is very easy. So it is very easy. That is the one main advantage of using the data in computerized manner. So a computerized database may be created and maintained by a group of application program. It is specifically for the task, that is DBMS. So database, if we are storing the database using in any of the application program, that program to perform a specific task, that we say it as a database management system. So what is database management system? Database management system is a collection of programs, that enables user to create and maintain a database. It enables user to create and maintain a database. So it will helpful for the user to maintain in the sense a user can create the database. After creating, he can insert the value, he can delete the data, and he can perform a number of tasks over on the database. Right? To perform all those tasks, we need one application. That application is a collection of programs, that we say it as a database management system. So database management system is a general purpose software system that facilitates the process of defining, constructing, manipulating, and sharing the data. Defining a thing, but a user can define the data. Constructing, but after defining, he can construct the database. After constructing, he can manipulate. Manipulate this, he can modify the data. He can insert the data, he can retrieve the data, he can perform these n number of operations over to that database. And and also the data can be shared between the multiple users. If the data can be also shared between the multiple users, that is the main advantage of using the database management system. Databases among various users and applications. Database and the DBMS software together we called as a database system. So we are creating one database management system, is the database. With the help of the database only, we go into manage the data in the DBMS. So database plus DBMS software together, we say it as a database management system. Thank you for listening.